I think, good morning. I think we've begun. I, um, I'm getting my hair done today, so I almost had you look at my very bare tree out of the window, but I decided that I wanted to speak to you face to face. So, one of the things about being a mystic, a seer, a prophetess, a facilitator of consciousness, is it's not a high level belief orientation. It's more watching patterns and seeing what's emergent from the depth of our being, our collective being, called human being. And there's been a lot of solar plexus activity lately, fear, trepidation, anxiety, gut wrenching emotions. And in the prophetics, for 2 years, up until this past year, the message was to develop a healthy emotional plane, a healthy emotional palette. So actually, when I was young, in my 20s, I started to build a life worth living because my empathic connection to the collective was so intense. I could really go down for the count almost every other day. And my body often did go down for the count and still does from time to time. So I built a healthy, beautiful, invitational world based on vulnerability, transparency, affinity, and intimacy to survive the times that were coming, which is now. So when this whole solar plexus activity started up that I'm doing a activation on, actually excited about it, the third Sunday in this month, which you can see on my website, myname.com. I began investigating why the solar plexus was so active. And then things began to happen. One of the participants, one of the members of our field collective, and the field collective isn't a gathering together of belief systems, although it is principles of balance, harmony, symmetry, proportion, grace, and beauty, and so above, so below, so below, so above, the reflection of paradise here on earth, and affinity, transparency, intimacy, and vulnerability. And I'd like to add to that innocence, restoring our innocence. So the two things happened in the last 48 hours. One was someone called me to tell me of a gut-wrenching experience she had where she was left out by accident, a very important ceremony for her. And what happened was that she was talking on one of our group body of works to someone, and they said, maybe this is the moment for radical forgiveness. And we have these things like belief, but for her, it became an emotional register. Radical forgiveness became an act of tenderness and cherishing and of another beloved. And it settled her solar plexus to a certain degree, because we're now in the empathic response to the whole system now, and the whole system is in collapse. So what's emergent is we have them as beliefs, which I really almost hate to say the words, radical forgiveness, random acts of kindness, being there for another when they don't know how to be there for themselves, not to solve a problem, but to be emotionally available, to be feeling sensitive, to be compassionate. All these words that have become belief are actually ethers. They're actually magical ethers that restore us to paradise. And then the second thing that happened was that in a conversation today, something had happened to someone's grandfather during the German Second World War. Something terrible had happened to her grandfather's family, and he got to share it with her, something that had been a family secret since the 1940s. And in that, he could return to his love of life again. So during this time of collapse and during this time of aberrations that look like they're seeking to root back into and back into the society of human being again and kind of win their ability to dominate and that which is not life enhancing or life generating, we are, through our care of ourselves and others, promoting what is life generating and life fulfilling. And naturally, not as application, not to solve a problem, but actually it is rising in the field of the one soul collective of human being. Reach out when you need to. Don't be alone. There are gut-wrenching feelings of terrible remembrances. There, the whole, I want to say, nauseous experience of shame and blame and guilt. These aren't individuated experiences, but if you take it as an individuated experiences, it's hard to make it through to the other side. We are an empathic response that is literally leaching and breaking open what has been hidden from view, but also what has been suppressed emotionally. So I am here for you. And I'm here for you whether you ever contact me or whether I ever know you. I'm at work to restore our capacity to be with each other again, not to hate, not to be violent towards each other, which we learn to do out of terrible, terrible remembrances that we still carry in our gut. Terrible remembrances. Fear of transparency, fear of vulnerability, fear of intimacy, fear of affinity. And yet, my beloveds, it's breaking through. Namaste. And I can't figure out how to get off the call. Love you.